You already know which one I do. Ha! Come on! What is it really talking about at the end of the day, man? It's beyond me. Now what we gotta get?
Money, money.
And what it's all about?
Money, money.
And what we living for?
Money, money.
And what we dying for?
Money, money.
Come on, let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it. Yeah, here comes the kid with the black hat. Hold all your bets, here's where the white hat rests. Fuck your methods, I'ma step out on my own. About time I retaliate, get away from my throne. Keep the metadata, I'm organic, homegrown. You looking for the goodies, oops, wrong song. I've been holding back on these attacks for so long that I'ma use your IP and probably meet you at your home. Now, let's check the ARPs account and see who really bout it and who just chasing clout. I'm really not the one to do the capping and the faking. If I told you it's a plan, we got a goal, then I'ma make it yet. But see, here's what's funny to me. You just the oversized trash can for money to me. You got a pitch so weak, only dummies believe it. Don't gotta prove I'm the truth, you got eyes and see it. Go!
Money, money.
And what it's all about?
Money, money.
And what we living for?
Money, money.
And what we dying for?
Money, money.
Come on, let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. I'm the reason that you wanna hold a conference. Shame on my name for some gain, that's nonsense. All you hear is tick, tick, tick. I'm the bombers, blasted targets, and I'm not with the drama. The band's gonna take over. Now put that in a diorama, comma, pause cause I wanna. I don't follow rules when the rules try to stop me. So I put that SEO on go, the top speed. And I bet your clients mad, you and not me. Anytime you gotta show results, you in the hot seat. Oh no, why, how is it this happened? That's the main question your customers all be asking. You the type to take a test and try to pass it. I'm the type to think the professor get all the answers. You probably better off if you become a dancer now. Move out my way cause I ain't giving no more chances.
Money, money.
And what it's all about?
Money, money.
And what we living for?
Money, money.
And what we dying for?
Money, money.
Come on, let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it go. Let's get it. The band's gonna take over.
Eastern Side Beats.
Hey guys, it's William here. I haven't been live in a bit. We're gonna have Eldar with us. Give me 1 second, Eldar. Remove this and should be good. Nope, there we go. It's gonna keep doing it this way, do it this way. We'll get it eventually. It's in there messing with me.
Says live.
Yeah, we are live. Give me 1 sec. So we haven't been live in a bit. So, how you doing, Eldar?
I am doing awesome. How are you, William? That intro, man. Love it. I was like, well, let me take a look. It's like, what? Is this the song about SEO?
Yep. Yeah.
The IP got me.
Oh yeah, that was when people were talking smack and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna find your IP account, IP address, and show up at your damn house. You keep talking so damn much. Yep.
That was good. That was good.
Yep. So you're in Israel right now, correct?
I am. I am in Israel. I'll be back to the States in just a couple of weeks, and then probably come back here for a little longer. And then I'll leave on the route of Israel and the U.S. Probably myself a little kosher wifey.
You're not married yet?
No.
No.
Nope.
You need to come over here and see your. No offense, but come over to your SEO team. Stay in the Philippines for a bit.
That's true. Well, they're gonna get me married in a week.
Yeah.
You
know? Mads, he has a lady. I think she's in Vietnam, but he used to have a girl that he got married to in the Philippines as well. But but nah, I mean, good people. So, But nevertheless, you're going to be speaking at SEO Spring Conference or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be speaking at Terry's Mastermind, the SEO Spring Training,
Yep.
and I'll be talking about sales and how to build a business basically, and what is the the core things that you need to build a business, the
Okay.
tripod of the things. It's going to be really cool.
So
Going to have
instead
a
of
lot.
coming in and just talking about rankings or how to do SEO, you're going to talk about how to build an actual business and get sales and this and the lifeblood. Because
Like,
I mean, if you ask most of them, it's like there are a lot of SEOs that are really good at SEO, but they suck at sales.
yep.
They suck when it comes to marketing. They suck when it comes to actually building up a business. Mainly because they've been taught one part of it, which is just SEO. They don't know all the other parts that go into it. So that'd be really good. That's
Yeah,
my
and
forte, you know.
we're gonna, I'm gonna make it tailored to an agency, so there's gonna be a really good value there. Um, that presentation alone, by the end of it, almost any person, as long as they're going to take action, they'll be able to scale their business. I'm going to pretty much share the same thing that I did to be able to 8x my business and my
Mm.
agency and every almost any other business. I'm using the same core values and the same core principles, and that's the good stuff. Like, you just
Yeah,
want
I mean, that's really one of the things when I was talking to Mads, because we had Mads come over here. It's like most people, when you started your agency, you didn't start a business. Most people, when they started their agency, they started it as I just want to make some extra money,
yep,
pretty much like a freelancer.
yep,
So nothing was set up as a business. And then somewhere along the line, just like me, is like, oh, I became successful. Oh, I got to actually create a business now. And I got to learn how to manage people. And I got to learn how to deal with clients. And I got to learn how to do sales. And what's this called? Systems. And then, all these other things outside of SEO that actually make a successful business a successful business. It's like why most people they want to show they got their fancy sports cars and nice houses
mhm,
and all that. I could care less about that. Show me, are you paying taxes? Show me your employees. Show me your
mhm,
systems. Show me your sales process, stuff like that. And then you actually see the business. And that's because most of them actually do not have an actual business set up.
yep,
At least most influencers and stuff. But one of the things I didn't even know at the time, I remember who was it? Michael Rayburn actually
yeah.
introduced me to Local Dominator, which we're going to talk about today. But I was like, that's really cool, Michael. And then he kind of put me back with you, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I've been using this new GeoGrid tool that people have been seeing, and they're kind of like, what's this new tool that you're using and what does it do? And I tried to tell them, I said, there's some things that I like about it, but you're pretty much the creator or founder of this tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the
And
geogrids and stuff, and we'll show y'all some of it later. If you want to screen share at any point, Eldar, just let me know. But um, most of the geogrids, if you've ever seen them, I mean, the local Falcon grids, you know, I'll show you the local Falcon grids to compare it.
mhm,
And that's what we used to use. I don't use them at all anymore. But if you go into, just show y'all guys, let's see here. Um, Current tab. No, I want to use a window. There we go. Local Falcon. Share. Come on. It's not going to let me share it. This is being a pain in the booty unless you can do it. Window. Let's do that entire. Nope. It's not going to let me. There we go. There we go. All right. So this is Local Falcon. And if I was to click on, let's just say this report right here, not picking on no one in specific, but this is a healthcare agency we'd worked on. Of course, it's dominating except this one little 20 over here. But okay, this is your geogrid. And most people look at it and like, what is all these ones and circles, right? So it's just a bunch of ones or a bunch of, numbers, depending on where they're ranking in the area.
mhm,
And what happens with this for me is let's say you do have let's get another one where it's it's sporadic, if you will. Let me look at some of these reports, and I'll get you one that's not quote unquote the best and dominating. Let's just grab like this
So
one.
the problem with all your stuff is looking good.
Like this one, okay?
Mhm.
So this one right here, it's got a bunch of 20s and 19s and 15s and 18s and some 1s and 5s, and you really can't tell a whole lot of difference from the numbers because they all look the same. Well, in the local dominator, one of the things I liked about it, and I'll pull that up, but or domination simplified. But let's go ahead. Let me log in. Just grab one of them where they're, kind of sporadic or whatever, but some of the scans. And I'll show you guys because I know y'all been wondering, but let's just take this one right here. So first thing you notice, let's say on this one, is it's not a bunch of circles. So the
Yeah,
X is for
we're
me,
still
yeah,
seeing the local photon.
you still see the local falcon. Okay,
Yes.
let me switch out and
Get
go
rid of
to,
it. Get rid of it.
let's go to the next one, local dominator. So on the local dominator, what I liked about it was, for instance, it's not very confusing. I look at this, I can go, you'll notice several things that are different. Number one, I can share this map right from here just by grabbing a share link, and I can share the heat image just by doing this, grab it, and I can email it. I can drop it in Facebook. I can do whatever I want with it, right? But then also, you don't see a bunch of circles. You'll see X's where it's 20 and above. You'll see different, like the circle whenever it's closer to 1. You'll see, different markers like this when it's getting over 10. So it's not very confusing. And that's one of the big things for me, was not having something that's so damn confusing. Let's say, look at this one right here, another company we're working with. All right.
Ooh.
And so this is a, web design or marketing agency. It's SEO Singapore. So we're doing their SEO, and they are dominating. So you'll see where it's 1, everything that's a 1 is a star. So every time you see all these stars, okay, that's number 1. When it looks like a little Google map pin, those are like generally 1s, 2s, and 3s. That's one of the things I really liked about this versus the other thing. The other thing, the big one that for most of you is going to be, at the end of the month, which most people don't realize this, but at the end of the month, what would happen is at the end of the month, they go, oh, let's say you didn't use up all your credits. Well, you're shit out of luck because those credits don't roll over if you don't use them.
Yeah.
So what happens is, and then the month comes around, you still got 5,000-6,000 credits that you could have done a bunch of reports for, 30, 40 reports or whatever. And now they just disappear. They charge you again, and you lost all those credits. I didn't have that issue mainly because we used all of our damn credits all the time. We were constantly having to charge extra more and more. I was spending closer to $1,000 a month or more
Crazy.
just in damn credits, because all the SEO audits we do, then all the reports you're running for your clients. I mean, think about how many reports that you have to run for your client. And one of the other things, I don't know, is this live yet on this part, is me and you have talked about this, Eldar, where you can go, let's say you have 10, 20 clients or whatever, you give them a share link for where their reports and their keywords are always going to be. And every month, whenever they want, they can look at that share link, and it will tell them when's the next update, when's the next scan going to be, and all that. And that was a big one for me. So let's see.
I'll show you this right now. I'll just grab this. So basically you'll go here and you'll get this unique share URL. You'll copy this and you'll just send this to your client. So you can send this to your client. You can add this to Go High Level or any dashboard as an iframe even. And you can, of course, have your own logo here. What's going to be really cool about this, that now your client will get this interactive, little reports. Oh, they don't see this tab. Hold on. wrong.
Yeah, that was a big one. Is like, because anything that systemizes, especially for an agency, and reduces work, you'll learn real quick that you need to do that.
So imagine that you don't have to pull credit, you don't have to pull the maps anymore. You just give them one link that is updated automatically. They can check it on their phone. They can go in here, they can click on the number that they're at, and then they can see who is above them. It takes a minute to populate. And then basically they'll be able to see who is above and who is below. Let's see.
So I know some of y'all might not have noticed what he just said there, but let's say, for example, you're doing your audit for a client. You got a client on a call, you're doing a Zoom call, and you're doing an audit, and you go and enter in their information, and it shows them not ranking, right? And you can click on where they're at, and it will show them right there where they're at and who's above them, right?
Yep.
So they can see on the spot, without having, who's above them, why they're above them, and as you see, it's already populating and everything. So we're doing our key. We can do our research, if you will, in our audit and go, okay, well, why is this person in garage repair above me? Why is this one? Why is this one? Go to their website, audit those websites, pull their URLs, pull their content, see what's different, that sort of thing.
So this is really, really cool. And I've spoke with somebody in the law industry, and it was like, man, like if I send this to the attorneys I work with and they see their comp, they're gonna freak out. And it's really cool because imagine you're working with an attorney and they're number one, and then they see that Joe Law is above them. They freak out. They just want to spend more money into their SEO. So this is a really cool tool that can help you just share the reports with your clients. And again, it's really interactive where the client can do that. And it's a view only, right? And this one takes a couple of minutes to load. My internet's a little slow, but you can see all of the list of all the people basically in this area. And what's really cool, they can also see the progress based on timing, right? So they can change the time. So for example, from a month ago to today, they can also hide this little panel, then get this little nice score, which was also one of my issues. Like when you're using all of the other software out there, it's a very hard thing to tell between the differences, right? It's not a significant obvious. With this, like how easy it is to go to your client and be like, look, a month ago.
I get a lot of people that ask me, what's the difference between Local Falcon and Local Viking and this tool and that tool all the time? There's really, I tell them, honestly, when I used to run Local Viking and Local Falcon, I'd say I generally run both of them because they're both generally going to be wrong. They're going to be close, but not completely accurate. One of the things I did I remember seeing on yours whenever we're doing, if you will, these audits, right?
So what's really cool, yeah, you can just do those. You can share the link. Another really cool thing, by the way, we just added is the circle grids, which also makes more sense. Our goal with this is to keep innovating.
Let me show them this one real quick, Eldar. On this one, when we're doing an audit and you see all over here, okay, I'm dominating the whole left side. Why am I dominating the left side and not the right side? And so what he was showing you, let's say, for example, I wanted to click right here. Well, right here, I'm number 9, and I can go, okay, well, why am I number 9 here, but all of these guys he's showing you are number 1? Because there are instances where over here, that person's not number 1. And he's not even in the top, 10. But over here he is. So he might be doing something different. They might have some pages or local geo information on the site that you're not seeing, etc. And then I have to go in here and look at it. That's one of the things I liked about it, is because I can go in here and do some more in-depth research versus, if you will, the other stuff on the other GeoGrids. You're not able to see any of that. They're not going to tell you any of that. They're just going to give you, here's your, basically here's your average, here's where you're ranking, and here's all the people in top 20. It will not differentiate who's on this specific spot at this specific location and all that stuff. So it's one of the things I really, really liked about it, especially when you're doing your audits and stuff.
That's another thing that for me was a really pain point was sub. So, for example, if you're using local Falcon, I was trying to do it the other day. I was doing a video between local Dominator and local Falcon, and it took me 6 minutes to look for a sub. I mean, it just doesn't come up in the search. So, what we do, you can just paste the CID link and you get it instantly,
Yeah, there are
literally.
many times where you'll go to post a service as in a service area business or sub, and then you won't find it, and you have to sit there and finagle a way to get it in there. And sometimes you still can't do it, and that's where I'd have to go to maps. I'd have to put in the exact information, address, and then try to do it that way. But I haven't had that issue with the Dominator. So
Let me grab a link real quick. Let's do that. Can I show the screen?
yep,
All right. So in here, right, you'll go to new scan, and all you got to do is just paste the CID link, go here, and then just start with your keywords. Let's say plumber, right? You just click somewhere here, and in just a second, it's gonna pull this. There you go, and it just pulled it, and you can change it. Let's say I'll do circle, and let's do that. All right, it's still populating for this one. There we go. So now it already pinpointed this to where it is. And if it's not, you can also go here, you can do map URL, and you can put in a zip code. And what this will do, this will put the pin right in that zip code that you tell it, because sometimes it's not accurate, right? So it's
Yeah.
really cool. This literally takes less than 10 seconds to pull a service area business versus with the other stuff. It's so much time consuming. It's just not, it's just time consuming, right? It doesn't know how to deal with that. So for me, that was one of those things. Like, I was frustrated with the fact that it's just not, like, I want to go fast, right? Like, I want to be able to find a business real quick. So with this, you just get the CID link, you put it in, done. Like, it's that simple, right? So that was one of those things for me that I was like really aggravated. Another thing
The
is,
biggest thing is the difference between you and at least with local Falcon
here, I want to show
would
this again.
be the fact is that you are an actual agency owner, so you deal with an agency work on day to day, and I would dare say even LV is the same way. They don't necessarily deal with the daily, or the owners don't necessarily deal with it on a daily basis. You're dealing with it on a daily basis. Therefore, you're looking at ways to improve it on a regular basis. The other thing that is, I know me and you have talked about, how long is it going to be before you're going to have GMB posts coming out? Because I know we've talked about that as well, because I actually, at one point, we were doing it manually. And then Chase Rayner talked me into, hey, talk to local Viking. And I talked to local Viking, and they said, yeah, we'll get you set up. They got me set up. And then the whole fiasco happened where they said pretty much, oh no, you need your own, your own setup. So I needed to set it up for every single occurrence that I had, and they wouldn't help me. And that took forever. And I said, screw it. I'm going back to doing it manually. I can do this faster with my VAs. And so we've been doing it manually, but that's not to say I haven't been looking for something that would actually where we could do the postings. Because one of the things I like with the postings and, using the API, even though I would tell you that, the past experience that I did not like it was with the API, with a tool that actually does what it's supposed to be doing, is I can go give this to a VA or even yourself if you're a freelancer and just starting out. And let's say you got 5 clients and that's what you're just starting out with. I can take literally one weekend, create all the GMB posts for my 5 clients for 30 days, post them, schedule them, and then I can take the rest of the, month off, really. Legitimately. And whenever y'all have these postings come out, that's one of the things, because we'll wind up, as soon as that happens, my team will start using it again, and we won't have to worry about this crap, which is just manual posting. And the only thing, and with manually posting, especially, let's say for most of people's teams are going to be in Philippines or India. Well, today is Thursday for me right now, Thursday night. And for you, it is in the States, it's Thursday morning.
Right.
Well, that's not a problem when it's on Thursday. But let's say it's my Saturday morning, which is your Friday evening, or it's a holiday here and not there. Then I get into, well, we didn't do a post because it's a holiday. I'm sorry, my office is closed because we have all employees. In the case where we actually have something that we can schedule posts, we don't have to worry about that no more. And neither do your VAs and stuff, because you can go ahead and plan ahead of time. So that's how long do you think that will be before that's out?
We're probably going to release the beta in about 4 to 6 weeks. We already have this. We're just waiting for a couple of approvals. And then once we'll have it, we're going to release it. Another thing that we're going to release, actually, I'm thinking about 2 weeks, is a advanced comp reporting. So basically, one of the things that you currently don't have is the ability to see the ranking that you have over a graph and over a period of time. So in about 2 weeks period, you'll be able to see the ranking over graphs, and there's going to be really cool. There's going to be a couple of graphs. It's going to be, we're making this so you will have a really detailed report to give to the clients, and not just to show them like the heat map. So they'll be able to see a lot of stuff over a graph. And the point is to be able to convey and to be able to explain the end user, that the retail client of the agencies, how well the progress is. So that's another thing that in just the next couple of weeks will also be launched as well. We also have the circle grids. Let me show this real quick to the folks.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, because we're running the square grids right now. So I mean, we haven't even started running the circle grids.
So that's one of those things. Like the other day, not the other day, but I was like thinking, like, how is Google working? Like Google works by radius, right?
Yeah.
You have 5 radius mile, 10, like they work. So why are we all going with those inside the box grids, right? Yeah. So how come this makes much more sense from ranking standpoint.
So when you're running, let's walk them through. How are you going? Let's run. How do you set it up so inside Dominator, instead of running a square grid, it runs a circle grid?
So let's say I am Roto. I always use Roto-Rooter. So you just go in here, you change this from a square to circle, and then you can just change it, let's say, to 13 by 13. And of course, you can move this thing to whatever area that you want.
So in your settings prior to running it, you just choose the circle instead of the grid. Yeah.
And then just go here. You can do plumber. What's really cool, by the way, is plumber near me. So you can do near me terms. And what's really, really cool about this thing, and this is where a lot of our resources went into, is the accuracy. If you will check this, and I have multiple videos of comparing the accuracy of this tool versus all the other ones in the market, this will win 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 as far as the accuracy, this will win. Will some of the scans will change as you do it? Yes, because Google is fluctuating, right? So if you scan something in the morning, scan it at night, there might be some changes. But if you are scanning something and you're verifying,
it's not going to be like if you were to go with one of the other people, what generally happens, you could run it both at the same time and they'll be looking totally different. I mean, I've run LV and I've run LC both at the same time, and then you'll get one that says your average rankings in the top 3 across a 10 mile radius, and the other one says you're like in the top 20. Yep. So, and it shouldn't be that much of a discrepancy between the two. Yeah.
Another thing, we just saw this when you were sharing the like local Falcon, right? You had a green grid, and then you had that one dot,
one spot.
It doesn't make any sense.
And all the other people say, well, it's because it's a malfunction in their software. So if there's that one malfunction, I guarantee you a lot of the rest of it's malfunctioning as well.
Yeah. And we had I was frustrated with stuff like that, because you'll run something and then you'll send it to the client, but the client will,
the client will tell you, hey, I'm getting it from other people and say, no, it's not there.
Yeah, I'm not there.
And they're actually in the city, so they could call someone up that's in a nearby area and go, hey, can you go Google this term and see if I'm there? And lo and behold, they're not there. And it's generally because those damn geogrids are not accurate. So
yeah. So you're getting to a point where if the information you're getting back from the software is inaccurate, how can you optimize it? Like
Yep.
there's discrepancy, right? Like you can't optimize if you don't see it. So if you have the wrong image, you're going to doing wrong, right? You're going to optimize it off. So it's like one of those things. Like it's
Besides,
really
so
good for me.
beside, I mean, honestly, besides a geo post, which GMB postings that'd be nice and everything, but GMB postings, it helps you. But will you also eventually have the features where you can go in and monitor edits to a GMB
Mhm.
and make your own edits to GMBs?
Yes. So there's a couple more things that are going to be released after that. Is you'll be able to audit GMB, and it's going to be pretty extensive audit, not just how much not how much words you have in the description, something much more in depth that currently is not available. And the other thing that we're also working on is to be able to give you the prospecting tool. So we're already beta in this, and essentially
You're
you'll have a
baiting pretty much a prospecting tool and an audit tool. So this tool will not only allow you to run the geogrids, you're also going to be able to prospect. And then on top of prospecting, while you're prospecting, you can then audit.
Mhm.
I would be
So
surprised
imagine you run an audit,
if
and
email
after
list.
you run, yeah, like you run an audit, and then in a click, it'll allow you to prospect all of the people that are not ranking on the top. So I'm not going
Yeah.
to go into detail on that because like we still need to keep this close to the chest, right? But that's going to be something really epic. And again, it comes with the user in mind, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm looking, how can I utilize this for my own retail agency, not just, you know, have a software
Yeah, that's
that's
what I'm
it.
saying. The benefit of having you're building it versus these other people,
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing, is that you actually used to do prospecting, you actually used to do video audits, and you actually use this on a regular basis. So as an agency owner, what we need or what we don't need, and how we are actually prospecting and how we're doing sales, and therefore you're incorporating that into your system that you're setting up inside of your software, which is in turn going to benefit everybody else as well, because you're looking at this as how can I scale your business, your agency, and make my life, make your life easier, which in turn makes everybody else's life easier. So
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, Michael and I started with this tool because we wanted a tool for us that wasn't available, right? Like it was just honestly like there was one day that we were running scans for both of the other comps, and we were freaking frustrated because the result we got back was inaccurate, and we had an issue with a client. And then because I have the background in development and I do all that stuff, I was like, fuck it, like let me just get into this because I already have some of, like, for example, the geo posting. I have this technology done like 3 years ago. I'm just using it for myself.
for
Like it's a
yourself,
fun local with that. Yeah. So I have a lot of the stuff like already. So it was like, okay, let's just get this done. And we created a tool for ourselves. And then okay, like it doesn't matter, like it doesn't make any sense to just keep it, and like
do
kill
yourself.
it, right? Like you need to let the baby grow. And the more things we do, the more users we have, the more we can do because we can invest back into this thing. And that's the goal. Like there's endless opportunities. And what's really cool that I have people like reaching out and have ideas, and instead of just like close the door for them, I listen to those ideas because these are the people that have needs, right? And if you look at the other two or three in the market right now, they haven't made any change in about 2-3 years. They only started to make little changes when we got into the market, right? Because they were just it was good for them. Like it was working. Like it wasn't the best. It wasn't bad, but they were not incentivized to innovate. And that was just something that for me was really, really annoying. So I wanted to have something that we can keep innovating, we can keep adding more things that they can get better, right? Like the first
Yeah, I
car
mean
was
that
doing
the number
40
one
miles.
the number one thing with that is you're working with people that are actually dealing with it on a regular basis inside their agencies versus the average SEO might just have a couple of clients versus agency owners where you got agencies that got 20 clients, you got agencies that got thousands of clients, and we need
Yeah.
to see what's working and what's not working and the constant issues that you're having, etc. Which, like, just for GMB posts is like, how can I monitor my edits? I got these people all the time coming in and trying to edit my GMB. And you don't get notifications. You don't ever get notifications unless you log into your GMB, and then they say, "Hey, by the way, we've noticed some edits," and they say, "Do you approve them or disapprove them?"
That's another whole lot, like a whole nother problem right now. Like a lot of people are trying to snitch people's like GMBs. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah, I've had people inside of GMB Pros want me to teach them how to take down GMBs, and I said, "Here's my thing: is yes, I can teach you how to do it very easily, but." The people that are asking this, and I've told them this in GME Pros. I said, you're selfish and self-centered and you're narcissistic for the most part, because my thing is, I go from a black hat point of view, even I tell them, say, you got to think that business owner has family. That
Yeah.
business owner has families he's supporting. And if you can't beat them by any other means, but except by taking down their GMB, you shouldn't be
It's
doing
wrong.
SEO, number one. And number two, you're just thinking about yourself, because you could take someone's GMB down and they get all their business from it, and it affects their business, their family, and all the families of all the people they employ.
Yeah. That's
So
just
there's a
wrong.
lot of that going on. Then you got a lot of people out there, because I have people say, why don't you sell GMB verifications anymore? I do not sell GMB verifications anymore, because anybody that actually has done this long enough knows, like I seen someone the other day selling GMB verifications that I know, and it's like, you're selling GMB verifications. I hate to tell you, if it's done in a black hat way, then it's not done through a postcard with a legitimate business, legit,
Mhm.
address and stuff, it will eventually come down, because Google
Yeah.
will find the back door and they will shut it. And I've
It's so
sold and
embarrassing.
I've sold 10, 10 plus different types of GMB verifications, and all of them get shut down, and eventually they'll open back up again. But it's better to do it correctly, or at least get an address and do the postcard verification method,
Mhm.
and do it right. Set up a website, and get the citation. But you'll see a lot of people trying to game the system, and it's like, if you game the system, as a black hat, I would tell you, you say you're going to game the system, it'll work for a while, but eventually it's going to come down. Eventually the system will go, oh, they catch the plug and they patch it, but most people don't see it from that point of view. They just, I want
That's
to game the system and find the easy way out. And that's just, you can do that for a period of time, but it's not going to work forever, buddy.
it's a turn and burn, It's one of those things where you just know that you're burning yourself every couple months or
Yeah, it
it's
sucks. It's
much
like, just do it
much
right. I'd rather do it right.
yeah, it's much more lucrative to invest in a even a storefront and get yourself an actual GMB, a storefront, put in the couple $100, get a shitty ass plaza, and you know it's not going to get suspended. Now watch
Yep.
this. Look how nice this thing is, and how much more makes sense it is in my mind as an agency as well to report something in a
Has an
radius,
actual radius.
in an actual radius versus a cube, like versus a square. It doesn't make much sense. So like this is something we implemented now across all of our reporting. So now everybody's getting these because it makes much more sense. I did move the center of this a little bit to the left. That's why we see a lot more orange, because it's more far away from the actual business, which also
Yep.
makes sense. Really cool. Like you can also see like all the people that are ahead. Really cool. There's another couple of reports coming in. I think the biggest thing is to work with the scans, with the reoccurring scan. This literally allow the businesses to just see things over time. Let's look at these guys, for example. I believe this is also circle. Yeah. So for example, like this, beautiful. Yeah. So I'm super excited with all that stuff. And then of course you can also do a GIF, which is really cool. It takes I don't think this actually will share. Let me do it this way. Second to load. I think my internet is a little slow. And then once this will load, basically you'll just see it running and changing over time. So it's really cool. Yeah, just give it a second to load. What we're
Yep.
doing there. The internet here sucks. Oh, there we go. And we can do it. You can share it. So you can just share this with clients so they can see their ranking. And we put a lot of emphasis. There's only 2 dates here, but we put a lot of emphasis on the numbers here. So it's also easier for the business owners to see their ranking in a really, let me just grab that keyword.
The other
In a
thing
really,
you can do that for right there is case studies. Because you get,
yeah,
as SEOs or agency owners, where they say, I want to see a case study of someone you worked with, what's the before and after. And we usually show them the grids where it's normally I have to go, well, here's one geo grid we ran at this date, and here's another one at this date. But people like visual, men especially are visual, you know.
So watch this. Remember, as I said earlier, that you're also going to be able to see this on a graph, right? So
Yep.
as you keep scanning those, you have an average scan for your whole keywords as a whole. So for example, here at February 26th, the average scan for everything together was 14.6. It's a little small, I know. But then once you look at it like a month after, you can see it's changed to 14.8. So it also indicates the trend of how the whole business
If
moves
it's
as a
going
whole,
up or down, yeah.
exactly, versus just one keyword. So that's another thing that I couldn't find. Like, because when you're working on a business, you don't work just on one keyword. You work on 5, 6, sometimes 20. And you need to see the trend for everything as a whole
Yeah, because
versus,
you'll get a lot of clients, they'll say, well, my rankings suck. And I said, well, what keyword are you looking at? And generally, it's one keyword. They're not looking at, like we're as an agency looking at, you know, minimum of generally 5 keywords, minimum. There are many times depending on the niche, we could look at 10, 20, or if it's a national campaign. Sometimes we're doing national SEO or e-commerce SEO and stuff like that. Then we're looking at a lot. But even when local, we're generally looking at least 10 keywords. So
absolutely. And you need to be able to see the whole thing as a whole, not just one particular keyword, because a business is not built for one keyword. It's it's the whole pack. So
yeah,
everything we want to know if everything is moving or is it just one thing that is moving. And instead of like today with the other stuff, you have to go one by one and kind of figure it out. Is my trend up or is my trend down? So with this, just give us the whole thing, which makes it a lot easier. Um, and I think that the other thing is the cost. Like for me, the biggest thing was the cost. Like, so because when you have like the bigger plans, right, you don't always use all your credits. And then if you think about it, it's kind of like going to the gym, paying for not going, it's like paying for the membership, but not use it to the fullest, right? Like you're paying for the whole month for the gym, but you're only going twice. So
yeah.
like for me, when you're looking at the overall cost of things, it was just a lot. Like let's say you're having 10,000 keyword like credits, but you're only using half of it. So your cost per credit is really really high. So with this, because we also have the rolling credits, the only company that have rolling credits, that's freaking huge.
Yep.
We calculated that the overall cost is about 45% less than the other stuff because you have more credits with us and they're freaking rolling.
And
So
let's
it's
say you
like,
don't use them, so they go into the next month.
yeah, they just go to the next month. Like it's really cool. So you don't just it doesn't go to the sewer. You're collecting that water and you can use them later. Like it's not a waste. So this was another thing that I wanted to do as a change in the industry. It was like I felt that I'm just paying for something that just
Yeah, you're
won't.
generally always trying to find ways to save money, if you will, instead of wasting it, especially if
Yeah,
you're wasting it.
yeah. And as an agency, what is your stock of software is? Like some agencies have five, six, $700, and some have like two, three. Like my stock of software, I
Yeah,
think is
two,
about
three.
3,000. Yeah, because you have this, you have that, you have this, and if you're able to
Generally,
show,
what we tell most of the agencies that will wind up working with someone like us or you would be, well, first off, if you're going to white label with us, go ahead and cancel all your subscriptions because we have all of them and plus
yeah,
some. So And you have that benefit when you're working with a larger agency versus just a freelancer. Most freelancers do not have the assets and tools nor the ability to have them.
Yeah, and
So,
it's a crazy. I'm just doing my books for the end of the year and the taxes and stuff. And when you're looking at the amount of software at the end of the year, like what the hell? So every $100 that you can remove a month, that's a lot of money at the end of the year. That's 1,200.
puts money back into your pocket.
Yeah, like I mean, that's a car payment. It's gonna be a month rent, whatever it is. Like that's a lot of money when you're multiplying it by 12. So that's just huge. So definitely something that hopefully even as this get bigger, we'll be able to even bring it lower and lower. Like that's like that's kind of where I would want to go with this.
Awesome.
So I want to be able to pay it forward for the community.
Yep. And Paul says, and it's the best user interface design of all the GeoGrid softwares. It's so much easier to do too, because it's like with Local Falcon and stuff, you have to kind of look and dig and hopefully eventually find it.
Yeah, you're like, where's my scans? Where's my this? Like, how do I get there? Like, it's so complicated.
And if you've been paying attention, especially Local Falcon's been having issue after issue after issue after issue past few months. So then it's not gotten any better for anybody that's actually using it. So
I think it's actually going to get worse. To me, they had 4 years advantage, right? Like I would expect them to be at an SEMrush level.
It should honestly be constantly improving. And for me, the fact that it is not constantly improving shows me they're not agency owners.
Yeah,
unless they're your typical SEO where it's just all they care about. I hate to say it, but a lot of them, all they care about is getting that check once a month, and that's the only time you hear from them. And that's about it. If you're an actual agency owner, you're constantly looking for ways to improve and change and how you can expand your proximity and how can I make this better for my clients and deliver more value. So you definitely see that with Local Dominator, but you're going to be seeing a lot more once we get back. I'm actually going to Saudi, but once we get back from Saudi, then we'll be doing some more of our audits again with the Local Dominator, and then also how to prospect and everything else that we normally do and stuff. But I've been posting it a lot in the groups and stuff and just showing people. But as the new updates come out too, definitely show it even more. So, but listen, it's been, if anybody has any questions or anything whatsoever, you can PM me or Eldar, and we'll gladly, share with you the link to get the tool. And inside the description on YouTube, you get a 30-day trial. You can try it out, see if you like it. If you don't like it, I think you're a little bit nuts, but nevertheless, you can try it out and go from there. But if you write me, my personal assistant will generally give it over to you and get you code.
People, WJ Pro 30, that will give you 30 days of the Pro plan. That's $100 right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we don't have any questions in here or nothing, but if you have any questions after you've been watching the video, just message me, message Aldar, and we'll gladly answer those. But we will be doing this more often, and I will see you guys later. All right. Appreciate it, Eldar. You have a good one, man.
Thank you, William. Thank you for having me.
Stay safe over there.
You too, brother. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
So many SEOs that hate me and say that I'm stealing their methods. They bitch and they cry, labeling me SEO Black Hat. Was a nobody, now I'm at the top. Most wanted, most loved, bad business owners, and hated by most SEO opponents. You think you're an SEO god, but you're an SEO fraud. Guess I'm the SEO devil, shouting fuck the SEO guys. White hat SEO doesn't make sense, going with the goody goodies. Up in heaven dressed in white, I like black Tims, I like black hoodies. Fake SEOs up there probably had me on some real straight shit. No sleeping all day. No getting my dick licked. Hanging out with the goody two shoes, lounging in paradise, whole shit. Fuck that shit, I wanna use CT, y'all, and get some